I'm going to enlarge this one so you can see it on the side. Okay. Now, so last week I introduced you to Yossi ben Yochanan, who said, open your house to all the poor and feed them. Of course, who's working in the kitchen? His wife. And then what does he say? Okay. He says, all right. Al tabesi chaim ha'isha. Ha'isha very clearly means the wife, the woman. There's only one woman, the wife. Be'ishto amrur, that's how they explain it. Kal v'chomer be'eshet chaviro. Oh, even more so with the neighbor's wife.
That's right.
The neighbor's wife, I can
I was
understand.
looking at it.
I can understand. Yeah. But his own wife? Why? Mikan amru chachamim. Whenever a man is talking too much with his wife, oh my gosh, what kind of a marriage is this? Well, the rabbis themselves actually were very uncomfortable with it. So many of the commentators said it is only talking about the wife when she is having her period. Because at that time, they're supposed to be separated. And as he's talking to her, he's not being separated, right? There's no face mask, no 6 feet separation. He's going to get lost. His passion will overcome him. Of course, then the other said, wait a minute, let's be honest. It did talk about women, about the man's wife. So why not talk about the man's wife? Well, there are 2 civilizations in antiquity, up till 21st century. 2 civilizations, a male civilization, female civilization. Conversations are very different. The context, the topics. The man is a scholar. He's supposed to be talking about Divrei Torah. The woman is worried about taking care of the family. Their conversations are completely different. So since we're looking at the scholar, what's he going to talk with his wife? Okay, this is still a problem in Hasidic communities. They talk about this. They recognize it. The woman is in her world, the man is in his world. And the rabbis, I will give them credit, insist to their students that they must go home, leave the yeshiva, go home and spend the evening with their wives. That's going on in Hasidic communities today, right? So a big change. But again, it's the sense, well, your job as the man is to only learn Torah and make a living. The wife is making a living, taking care of everything else. You are 2 different civilizations. We have to understand the context. Of course, not all the rabbis were happy with it, especially not all the rabbis' wives. So there's a famous story about the great Bruria, who stands as a rabbinic figure by herself, author of rabbinic rulings, actually recognized for them. She's married to Rabbi Meir. And the story goes that she's traveling, and she bumps into a colleague who is traveling, and she knows that he is of the school that women should not be learning and studying. In other words, he is her main opponent. Well, he sees her and he says, hello, Bruria, more or less I'm paraphrasing it. Tell me, which is the way to Lud? She looks at him and she says, Al tabeh sichai ma'isha. You may not talk much with the woman. You should have said, Ezo lelud, which to Lud, and walk away. Right? So she puts him down, strong put down. You're the one who talks about not women's rights and so on, then you don't dare talk to me. She throws it right back at him. So we know that obviously they were not all very happy. And we also know that actually in rabbinic sources, the women and the men did talk. They were expected to talk. This is maybe an outlier in rabbinic sources, actually, rather than the one who actually determines. But it does say to us, we're talking again, two civilizations. Now, supposedly, we're more one civilization, right? We talk to each other. We may not understand each other, but we talk to each other. So let us now, with that thought in mind, recite the Kaddish, the Rabbanan, which I've pulled up here for us. Those reciting the morning's Kaddish. And of course, by the way, this does not talk about talking with one's mother. It is because of Mother's Day. This is absolutely not in regard to one's mother. All right, so nobody has an excuse not to talk to mom. Morning's Kaddish is found on here on the page here that I have pulled up, and it's also on page 274 in Sim Shalom. I think it's also 22 in our Sim Shalom. Kaddish Rabbanan. Yitkadal v'yitkadav Shemei Rabba v'yamad divrach chilutei v'yamlich malchutei b'chai echon v'yam echon v'chai echol Beit Yisrael ba'agalav izman karib imru amen Yehei Shmei Rabba morach v'olam omer maya Yiborach v'ishtabach v'ipa'ar v'itaman v'itnasei v'ithadar v'italev v'ithalal Shemei d'kutsha berichu le'elah min kol birchata v'shirata Tush b'chata v'nechemata navram v'omar v'imru amen Al Yisrael v'al Rabbanan v'al tamidei kol tamidei hon kol man yoskin b'oraita di v'ata hadein v'di v'chol atar v'atar
Make it a little bit louder.
Shlomo Rabba china v'chiser rachmin chayin arichen zonei richer v'kol mikol v'yam shmaya v'imru amen Hey, Shlomo Rabba min Shemai b'chaim aleinu v'arkoisei v'imru amen. Ose shalom b'imromav. Hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'arkoisei v'imru amen.
Amen.
Now we come to the service for the Torah. And I'm going to enlarge the door for us. And we have our figurative Torah, figuratively being taken out, and we're joining the chant. Ein kamocha Elohim Adonai, ve'ein kemasecha, machut hamachut kol olamim, omer shaltecha b'chol dor v'ador, Adonai melech, Adonai malach, Adonai yimloch, Adonai yos, le'amo yitem, Adonai yivarech, et amo b'shalom, amo rachamim, et yivav yitzoncha et Zion, Timnecha Yerushalayim, Timnecha Yerushalayim, Ibecha Levavachnu Melech Eram V'Nisa Adon Olamim. And figuratively open the ark. Excuse me. We continue. It's page 394 in Sim Shalom 139 Shabbat version. Vayhi b'tzaram vayomer Moshe Koma Adonai v'yavotzoi becha v'yanusu b'sanecha mipanecha ki mitzion teitzei Torah ki mitzion teitzei Torah u'devar Adonai b'Yerushalayim Baruch shenatan Torah le'amo Baruch shenatan Torah le'amo Yisrael b'kedosh
This Olympic sprinter.
Huh?
He's thinking Olympic sprinter.
I'm sorry. I told
Let's
him.
go ahead with the Shema,
You're running.
page 398 and
Running is a
140.
teacher.
Together. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Respond. Shema
Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo.
Echad Eloheinu, Kadosh Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo.
And together, Gadol Adonai Itinu, Ramem Hashemo Yachdav. Lecha
Adonai
hagevura,
Hagevura,
v'hatiferet, v'hanetzach v'haod,
V'haod,
ki
Ki
chol
kol
b'shamayim
b'shamayim
u'ba'aretz, ki
u'ba'aretz,
chol
Ki kol
b'shamayim
b'shamayim
u'ba'aretz,
u'ba'aretz.
lecha Adonai
Adonai
ha'amalecha
ha'amalecha,
v'titnaseh
v'titnaseh
l'chol
l'chol erosh,
Romemu,
Romemu,
Romemu, Adonai
Adonai
Eloheinu,
Eloheinu,
Ve'ishtachavo, Ve'ishtachavo, L'Adam Raglav,
Kitchen.
Kadoshu, Romemu, Romemu,
Remember.
Adonai Eloheinu,
Eloheinu,
Ve'ishtachavo, Ve'ishtachavo, L'Hakadosh, Ikadosh Adonai
The tempo too.
Eloheinu.
It's not the rabbi.
Okay.
He's knowledgeable, but he's
Here
not
we
the
go.
teacher.
We have
I
our
can hear you.
Torah reading up
Make it a
here.
little cooler in here.
Okay. Joe, Joe Ben Lulu, are you on with us today? Okay, he wasn't sure he'd be able to make it, had some other obligations, so I'll do the reading. We're opening the portion of Emor. It is from the opening verse, which is speak unto the children of Aaron. And this is very problematic. Again, we're establishing now, the last one, Kedoshim, was for the whole congregation of Israel. Now, this is specific to the children of Israel. We do get some rulings out of it that apply to all Jews as well. But we first talk about rulings about the Kohanim. So we're establishing Kohanim, and the Kohen has to be in a very special situation. The Kohen does not have the power of law, the force of law behind him. That's the Shofet. Shofet has the force of law behind him, or the Nasi, the king, or the Melech has the force of law behind him. The Kohen has the power of sanctity, what goes on in the sacred realm behind him. And because of that, he is separated. Remember, the Kohanim may not have land either, so that they cannot be polluted, we may say, by the potential of rule. Now, under the Maccabees, we know that this fell apart. And one of the factors maybe in the breakup of the Jewish public at that time that may have led to the destruction of Jerusalem was this fact that the Kohanim took to themselves also the power of government. So now we're talking about the Kohanim who have no power of government. They are strictly in a sacred realm. And in a sacred realm, then they have to be the same kind of purity as the animals that they're offering. Remember, the animal that is being offered has to have no blemish, no physical blemish. So the Kohen has to have no physical blemish. My father explained to me that in Germany, after the Holocaust, he refused to have the Kohanim do the Duchanan. You know, the Kohen goes up and leads the Yevarechacha for the congregation. We do it once if we can find the Kohen. We don't have a Kohen, so we haven't done it for some time. But he refused to do it. And he said, why? The Kohen cannot have a mum. He cannot have a blemish. Everybody went through the Holocaust. We have no idea who is a true Kohen. We have no records. We can't check on the family records. We also don't know what physical problems they're bearing with them. Physical deformity. So rather than go into the question of who is kosher for a Kohen, who is not kosher for a Kohen, we're not going to do the Duchan at all. Right? So there's an actual application down to our day. So look at the limitations. He may not become impure among his people. He shall not become impure. When does one become impure? What's the case? When can a person become impure?
Yes,
With
the
a
hand of
nefesh.
the dead.
With somebody, huh?
When you handle the dead.
Right, that's right. The translation cheats. You put the word dead. It doesn't say that in Hebrew, right? We have to understand. The only case for a nefesh usually is about live person.
Right.
Nefesh, loitma, an individual. Okay, so among his people. Another great question is, what is this definition of the word among his people? How are we defining and so on? No definement. Right? What's the exception? Im l'sheirah karov elav, the immediate family connection. What's that immediate family connection then? Father, mother, son, daughter, brother. Right? Those are the immediate connections. When we talk about mourning, rights of mourning, obligations of mourning, who is the immediately obliged? Father, mother, son, daughter, brother, sister. What's missing in this list, though?
Grandparents.
Wife.
The wife. Right? Grandparents are second remove. Everybody's a second remove. He does not go to. And the same thing in halacha in terms of mourning. Who is obliged to mourn? Only first remove, not the second remove. So, who is not in here? Yeah, Marcella said it. Oh, one exception. Achoto haptula krovailav. His sister who is betula, unmarried.
A virgin.
Well, all girls are presumptive virgins. Okay, presumptive virgins. Right? Right? She's not married. She's not been with another man. He may go to her funeral. So, but if she's married, why doesn't he do it? Because she has the husband. So someone else is taking care of it. All right? Lo yitama ba'al ba'amav lehechalo. And then...
But isn't his daughter, if she's married, then she's no longer his daughter?
Well, he's no longer responsible for her. Somebody else is...
But it says his daughter.
Somebody else has got to take care of the funeral. Is the immediate family responsible for the funeral? So since she's married, she's got a husband and kids of her own taking care of her. So he doesn't go out. Now, the one exception,
What about his son?
the rabbis say, Lo yitma ba'al ba'amav v'hechalo, the man shall not define himself as a kinsman by marriage and so profane him. The rabbis go in and they extend this to say, or they create an exception. What happens if the Kohen is walking and there's a dead body? And there is nobody to the right, nobody to the left, nobody in front, nowhere around. Does he leave that dead body? And the ruling is no. Even though he's a Kohen, when there's no one available to take care of the dead, he shall do it himself, even though he's not supposed to do it. Notice this card.
Rabbi, I want to ask a question. Is it
Yeah.
okay? So it says his wife, he's not to attend his wife. But he's responsible for his wife. Once she
No,
left,
for his wife. Oh, good question. Yeah, she was not in there. It's his wife is also. Wait, good question. Where did his wife go? Yeah. Where did it go to his wife? Good question. Where did it go to his wife? Yeah, I think the wife was included in here. That's a good question. The wife was in here somewhere. Wife was in here somewhere. I think the rabbis carve out the exceptions for the wife. Till today, we know as a practice among Kohanim that they won't go to the cemetery. They'll go, let's say this, they'll go into the cemetery up to a certain point, to the pathway, to the walkway before you get to the graves. Right? Now, we can go into the question, is it valid? Is it still in effect? And that many of the rulings from a conservative point of view would not be in effect. And we would allow a Kohen going to the grave, just as we would allow other things, like a Kohen getting married to a convert or to a divorcee. Conservative ruling, we do that. But the original ruling, no. All right. Now, look at other things that the Kohen would not do for himself. Shall not shave smoothly any part of the heads. Archa would be like the tonsor of the medieval monks, or what we presume is that among the Canaanite priests, that they would shave part of the scalp, would be smooth shaved. And so, again, he's the Kohen. He's anti-Canaanite, anti-Phoenician priest, anti-everybody else's priest. So those things that would have been associated with their priests, he's not going to do. What's the Yiddish word for a priest, by the way? Barbara, you know this? Barbara. Or Joe.
Barbara, he's talking to you.
Yiddish for a priest. The
can't.
Yiddish word for a priest. Catholic priest.
Could you talk a little louder?
Yeah, what's the Yiddish word for
Barbara,
Catholic
what's
priest?
the Yiddish word for a priest?
Joe, do you know? Okay.
Once more, Rabbi, please.
He's
Yeah.
speaking.
What's the Yiddish word for a priest? For a Catholic priest?
Oh, for a Catholic priest?
I don't know.
A gala.
You got it. Which comes from shaved
Gala.
head.
Lidgaleach, it means
That's
to
right. From a
shave.
shaved head.
That's
Because
right.
the Catholic tonsure,
Yeah.
the shaved
A
the round
galech.
left little bunch
Yeah.
on the top. There we go. Now we know where it comes from. Right? So, okay.
Rabbi, could you please repeat that word?
Right. In Yiddish, Yiddish took the Hebrew word for
Galech.
shaving
Galech.
and applied it to
Yeah.
the Catholic priests who had a shaved head. The tonsure was called the tonsure. A galech.
A galech,
Galeach
yeah.
is to shave. Legaleach is to shave. A galech is one who is galuach. He has been
Okay.
shaved. There we go. So
Lidgaleach is to
that's
shave.
right. There we
Yeah.
go. See, so we're terms that apply to themselves. Some other things. The Kohen could not take a woman who had been a prostitute or who had halala, questionable background. She had been married to the rabbis interpreted she was married to a priest before that she was not allowed to be married, something like that. Also, not to a divorced woman under the old assumption that maybe there was a problem in the behavior of the divorcee, right? That was an assumption till modern times, by the way, in American law also, wasn't it? Right? That the presumptive divorce was granted on the grounds of the woman's behavior, not the man's behavior. So, see how far back it goes. As I say, in practical application, then, Orthodox Jews don't marry a convert because they don't know the background of the convert. They don't marry again, the ruling being that in the time of the Greeks and the Romans, the presumption was that every woman had no sexual restraint in those societies. So we didn't know the background. And the same thing with the divorcee. As I say, contemporary, conservative practice, we don't do it. In Israel, one of the chief justices was a Kohen, wanted to marry a divorcee. He flew to Cyprus, got married in Cyprus. Classic case.
That's right. In Israel, they won't let them.
Right. But again, the reason because they're offering, they have to be a step above everybody else, above any kind of question, above scandal, above any kind of reproach. So does the daughter of the Kohen. So if you notice there also, she's in big trouble if she does anything out of line. So we won't go into that. One other thing, and this is let me just get this quickly. All right, I won't go into reading it, but it also goes on into not doing any gouging in the body for the dead. No. We know that, again, in antiquity, it was very common for people to tear out their hair and make gashes in their skin when someone died. And so the Kohen for sure was forbidden that. Out of this, we get extensions.
Rabbi, did you say earlier that the Kohen that he should not have he should not own land?
The Kohen didn't own land. The Kohanim had their cities, and that was all.
What do you mean had the cities? What is that?
There were certain cities set aside for the Kohanim, with a little bit of agriculture around it, but not much.
Because that land meant wealth. Land was
that's right. So they were
land
separated.
is wealth.
They were separated from the source of wealth.
Right.
Their only wealth came from the contributions of the people.
Right.
So it added up. It was good, but what if the people stopped giving? Right.
Stop giving
he has
contributions.
no guaranteed power. Land also meant power. It's not just wealth, it meant power.
Land, but land wealth means power. It's not that land meant power. It meant the wealth that is generated meant power. So
it's more. It's actual power. You are the law. You
are the landlord.
Land.
You had the power, right?
You had the power. You had the power of the people. The Kohen didn't have. It was an important distinction. The Egyptian priests owned. If you look at the story of Joseph, the Egyptian priests owned the land. The biblical priests could not.
Right.
Right. We removed from the priest the possibilities of contamination. No guarantee. Right. Problem is when the priests become completely dependent on the king. That's the other side of the coin.
But my point point here is that we're saying in the Orthodox society today that we're picking and chooses what part of these.
No, all of that's void. All of those laws are void with the destruction of the temple.
Okay.
That's all void. And the Kohen in Orthodox society has no power. Absolutely no power anyway. All he gets, what does a Kohen get for being a Kohen, besides the first Aliyah? $5 for a baby. And then there are all sorts of excuses not to give. So being a Kohen is no great shakes, and there are only restrictions. So that's how it goes. Okay.
But today, do they not follow the rules of marriage?
Yeah, I said, yeah, they can't marry a divorcee or a convert in the Orthodox.
So they're picking and choosing which parts of what happened after the destruction.
No, because that's not dependent on the temple. All right. Same thing as the shaving of the beard. The Jew doesn't shave his beard. Today he does.
Right.
Based on the rules of the Kohanim, it was extended to the Jewish people as a whole. And then it was defined as, well, it's with a razor. So if you use a chemical, it's okay. If you use scissors, it's okay. So you can find an Orthodox Jewish shave. It's okay. But you do not cut at the base of the skull, where the skull and the jaw meet. That part, you don't shave past that part. You won't find...
Rabbi, what about an electric razor?
Yeah, so electric razor is a blade. I'm sorry, it's not a razor. It's not a blade. It's a scissors. That's how it's actually scissors. So it's acceptable. What you won't find among Jews is the haircut of the Prussian officer. You ever look at the Prussian officers in old Germany?
Yes.
They're shaved up, high up to the ear. You don't find that among Jews. Jews. And as observant Jews, still you try to have some kind of sideburn. Not a big one, but something. Now, peyot's a whole different story. That's much later. The peyot, as we know, is much later. That's a whole different story.
Why Kohanim is an inheritance forever, while the Torah connect Kohen with the temple? After so many generations and descendants are not connected to the temple, why they are considered with the same rules as the Kohen?
Right, because some of the rules are temple-based, but not all. So those that are not temple-based are in effect, but there's very little. The other thing is that theoretically, the temple is reestablished, who you're going to call on. And it's very interesting, by the way, that of all the Jews around the world, the one group that you can trace genetically with DNA are Kohanim. Whether it is from Spain or Africa or Asia, doesn't matter. Same genetic markers, which is an indication how closely it was kept within the family. Okay, we're going to go with our Torah reading. We'll do the blessing. We're going to go ahead with our service. We're going to say the opening of the Torah blessing without the full Baruch Hu, just the introductory blessing for the privilege of studying the Torah. Baruch atah mecholam asher b'cha banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai notein haTorah. Amen. V'daber Noah Moshe le'emor daber kol ha'adav b'nei Yisrael v'amata lehem kedoshim tiyu. Wrong portion. That's what happens when you jump. Vayomer Noah Moshe Emor kohanim b'nei Aaron v'amata lehem lanefesh lo yitzma b'amav ki im l'sheiro hakarov elav le'imo laviv libno v'tot le'achiv ולאחותו הבתולה הקרובה אליו אשר לא הייתה לאיש לה לא יטמא לא יטמא בעל בעמיו להיכלו לא יקרחה קרחה בראשם ופאת זקנם לא יגלחו ובבשרם לא יסרטו שרטת קדושים יהיו להם לא יחלו את שם אליהם כי את אישרנו אליכם אליהם הם מקריבים היו קודש אישה זו נחלה לא ייקחו ואישה גרושה אישה לא ייקחו כי גרוש הוא לאלוהיו וקידשתו כי את לחם אליך היא מקריב קדוש יהיה לך כי קדוש אני אדוני מקדישכם. Okay. And we're now going to go to pray for those who are ill. There we go.
You make it bigger?
Yeah, I will in a second. We call on God's healing for these people who are so dear to us. Esther Elisheva, Pinchas Berterskovsky, Miriam Leodorf, Bertsav Gengalina, Moisey Kelchik, Mindy Levins Pfeiffer, Jennifer Levins, Ronnie Duran, Harriet Levins, Moisey Ben Manya, Barbara Mormon, Esther Gearson, Joe Alexander, Robert Dratto, Roger Rosen, Rachel Flalo, Jenny Dratto, Michael Schinder, Susan Tuchman, Shirley Marco, Vera Feinberg, Judy Alkali, Richard Zeller, Ofer Weinberg, Carmen Fraser, and Leva Batsara, Hannah Batsara, Eliyahu Ben Sara, Shoshana Ben Sara, Herb Moorman, Irina Hosepian, Alex Trebek, Hannah Sara, Leah Bat Rochel, Rachel, Shimon Meyer, Ben Rachel, Hannah Sara Bat Kayla Alta, Alan Whalen, and Hai Arnesti. May the Holy One send them healing both in body and in mind to them, to the whole house of Israel. To them, to all who are ill, in the house of Israel, of all peoples, and let us all say Amen. May we all find healing speedily in the next short days to come. And let's join in the chant for the Mishaberach. I have it here on the screen. You can see it in front of you.
Can you read it?
כן.
Let's see if I can make it a little bit larger for us.
Just make the page, the full page.
Hold on. Now you can see a little bit better. There we go. And let's all join in. Mishaberach Avoteinu Mekoha Bracha Limotenu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing. Let us say Amen. Mishaberach Imotenu Mekoha Bracha Avoteinu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen. Amen. May we all find healing this time. Amen.
He has knowledge, but he doesn't know how to give it to others.
I can move this over a little bit. There we go. And we go then to the Haftarah very briefly. It is from the prophet Ezekiel, who himself is a Kohen. Ezekiel is a Kohen from the outskirts of Jerusalem, who's been exiled to Babylonia, and he looks for the return of the Kohanim in their position. Talks about Kohanim, Halevim b'nei Tzadok, the Kohanim who are of the lineage of Tzadok, the Zadokites, Tzadok. No connection with my family, Tzadok. My brother-in-law Houston has a big jewelry store, and one of his first clients to come in was a Christian minister, pastor of one of the biggest churches, who said, Zadok, I know you're the high priest. I said, well, it's the Zadok's name, but it's not the same family. Tzadok, just a very common name for the one who is righteous. So he calls that from them. He calls upon them to be the true priests. And again, talks about the restrictions about marriage and so on. He actually makes it more strict than the biblical restriction. So the rabbis have some problems with Ezekiel. They try to figure out why does he go and make things stricter, right? He talks about shaving of the head and so on. And he adds to it, no drinking wine when he comes in. That makes sense. We know the story of Nadav and Abihu. And talks about what's the important part? Ariv hema yamdu lishpot lishpatai. Right? In lawsuits too, they shall act as judges. They shall decide in accordance with my rules. They shall preserve my teachings and my laws. Regarding my fixed occasions, they shall maintain the sanctity of my Sabbaths. Right? So he gives to the Kohanim the job of justice. Not the job of rule. Job of rule is given to Nasi, and the elected one, or the selected one. Separate, different, distinct from a king also. But these are his words. They're going to chant a few lines from the Haftarah for today. Hakanim Alimim Bnei Tzadok Asher Shamru and Mishmei Migdashi Bitol Bnei Semei Alai Hema Yekrevu Elai L'Sharateni Vamdu Lefanai Lakriv L'Chelei Badam Nu'um Aram Elohim Hema Yavo Migdashi V'Hema Yikarvu El Shulchani L'Sharateni Shamru Et Mishmati V'Ya Bevaral Mesharei Chatzei HaPnimit Big day, Pishtim, Yilbashu, Velo Yalehem Tzemed Besharatam Beshare, Hatzapnimit Uvayata. Pare, Pishtim Yarosham, Michnese, Pishtim Yu, Amatnehem, Lechguruba Yeza. Say Tamil Hatzachitzana, Hatzachitzana, Yifshutu Big Dehem Hashem Meshatim Bam. Benichotam belishkaot hakodesh l'shu begadim achrim v'lo yigdashu et ha'am b'bigdehem v'rosham lo yigalechu pera lo yishalechu kasom yiksumu et roshehem v'yayin lo yishtu kol kahen b'vam el chatzeh pnimit v'amana grusha lo yikachu lahem lenashim kimtu la mizera beit yiseh v'amana shetiyeh lamana mikon yikachu Vetami Yaru Ben Kodesh L'Chol Ben Tamei Tahor Yodaim Bariv Hema Yamdu Lishpot B'Mashpatai B'Shaftuhu Et Toratai Tar B'Chol Moadai Shamru Et Shaftai Yikadeishu Met Adam Lo Yavol L'Tamar Ki Im La'avu La'em L'Vayen U'Levat L'Ach L'Achot Asher Lo Aita L'Ishi Tamu B'Acharei Toratot Shivat Gam Yitzpru Lo B'Yom Bo El HaKodesh Achatzei Apnim V'Sher B'Kodesh Yakriv Chatatonu Maronai Tahem Nachala Ani Nachalatam Ve'achuza Lo Titnu Lahem B'Yisrael Ani Achuzatam Hamincha V'Chatat B'Hasham Hema Yochlum Kol Cherem B'Yisrael Lehem Yeh Bereshit Kol B'Korei V'Kol Trumot Kol Trumotechem L'Kohanim Yeh Reshit Arisotechem Titnu L'Kohen L'Aniach Bracha Al Beitecha Kol Nevela U'Toifa Minof Minabeha Lo Yochlu Kohanim. Now we go ahead. And we have the prayer for the United States and the prayer for Israel. And let's see if I found it. What I wanted. Okay, I know it's in here somewhere. Hey. Everything is flying around here. Good move. Okay. So I misplaced my prayer for the United States. It was ready to go somewhere. It happens all the time. We pray for the United States. We pray for the government of the United States, for the federal government, for the state governments, for the local governments, that they show measured patience and understanding in this time of distress, that they make sure that all the agencies that are designed to help us and save us at this time of national concern work properly and correctly. And we pray, God, that you give everyone sechel, the intelligence and the wisdom to help us come through this time. And we all say Amen, Selah. And for the people of Israel, Simon, are you on? Simon said he would come on. Simon, are you on? One of them, he said he would come on. We're going to have prayer for the soldiers of Israel. We'll go ahead with the prayer for the state of Israel together. Let's join in. Avinu Sheba Shamayim, so Yisrael Begalo, Baruch et Medinat Yisrael, Eshit Tzmicha Gulatenu, again Aleha, Bevrat Chazdecha, Ufros Aleha, Sukat Shelomecha, Shlachacha V'Mincha, L'Roshas Arav Yotzeha, V'Taknim Beitzah Tova Milfanecha, strengthen the hands of those who defend our holy land. Avinu Sheba Shamayim, so Yisrael Begalo, bless our land, inhabitants rejoicing joy, and let us say, Amen. We continue with the return of the Torah to the ark, and then we'll get to our topic for the day. So let's imagine that we are marching around with our Torah scrolls. We have our Torah scrolls at the ready, and we open the ark. Ya'alelu et Shem Adonai, ki neskaf shemo levado, odo al eretz v'shamayim, vayarem keren le'amo, tehila lechol Israel, am krovo, hallelujah, hallelujah. Mizmor leDavid, al Adonai v'ledim, avul Adonai kavod, avul Adonai kavod shemo, ishtach avul Adonai b'chazak kodesh, Adonai kavod irim, Adonai amayim rabim, Kol Adonai Hakach, Kol Adonai Hadar, Kol Adonai Shomer Arazim, Hashamer Adonai Adar Havanon, V'yakiren k'megeb Sirion, Kemo Ben Reimim, Kol Adonai V'chotzem Lavodesh, Kol Adonai Yachim Midbar, Yachil Adonai Mibakadesh, Kol Adonai Yacholel Hayolot, Yechazor V'cholo, V'lo Merkavod, Adonai Lamavudia, Shavayeshev Adonai Melech Leolam, Adonai Yaz Li'avoyitein, Adonai Yavarech Etav, Shalom. And we have, it's Chaim He. And here we go. And we're going to listen to this verse.
It's Chaim He, Lama Chazikim Ba, V'Samcheha Me'yusha. It's Chaim He, Lama Chazikim Ba, V'Samcheha Me'yusha. יושר דרכיה דרכי נועם בכל נסיבותיה שלום השיבנו השם אליך ונשובה חדש ימינו חדש ימינו ימינו ימינו
Okay. Now, there we go. We now come to the fun part that we want. Mother's Day and Lag B Omer. So, Mother's Day, I don't have to explain what mother is. I don't think I have to go into that in long description. Because Lag B Omer is really clouded in lots of questions about what its origin is. So I'll talk about that more. But Mother's Day, you know, I read plenty of people say, well, really, we don't need Mother's Day. Should be every day, should be Mother's Day. Why not? Why distinguish Mother's Day? Fathers are the same, so I have a Father's Day, but nobody pays attention to Father's Day, really. And go tell a mother that she doesn't need Mother's Day and see how long you'll stay alive. Yeah, so, Barbara has one of the great classics, the Yiddish classic about mother. Can you explain it to us? Barbara Drata.
Well, I have a Yiddish song that if you want me, I can sing it.
Yes.
Guy, I want you to
Yes.
sing it.
Okay,
Very much so.
okay. Should I start it now? Okay. Beste oiv der Welt, wer am Mehot, in Leben meist und ständig versorgt. Bei mir bist du der beste Freund, Mame getreue, möchtest du sein, so jung zu alt, weil es fällt mir am Mame, was ist teurer bei dir auf der Welt? Mame, dich kriegt man nicht für Gold und Geld. Eingebeuten war mein Weg, Mame, und steht vor mir dein Liebgesicht, Mame, Mame, wie bist du, mein Mame?
That's good.
Gebeugen war mein Weg, Mame, und steht vor mir dein Liebgesicht, Mame, verpeinigt hat man dich, Mame.
Can you explain it to us, Barbara?
Yes, this is in the time when the Holocaust was, and a lot of mothers went to the gas chambers. And after the war, this song was written.
Thank you
It's
very
beautiful.
much. Thank you very
It's
much.
also in Russian. The same song is in Russian.
Thank you, Barbara.
Thank you,
You're
Barbara.
welcome.
Now, we've got mamas of all kinds. All right, we've got Yiddish mama, da, 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 which a lot of us are familiar with. But Jewish mothers come in all kinds, all flavors. So this is a Mother's Day song that became not Mother's Day song, but a song for mother that became popular
Rabbi, can you make the window that
a few
you're
years ago
using
in
bigger,
Israel.
please?
I'm going to enlarge the text
Yeah,
for us.
just make it big.
That's it. And I don't want to cover the screen
Why not?
because it goes with the screen, but now you'll catch on. So this is in Arabic. It's the Mughrabi, Moroccan Arabic, but when they're singing it, the sound doesn't come across. But it is, again, the same thing. Mother, why did you leave? You're my spirit, my life, the tears of my eyes for you, mommy. You have taught me and worked hard for me. You, your beauty, the light in my eyes. My mother, you are compassionate. You are so dear, you're the light of my eyes. All right, that's the song. You know, we forget that until the 18th and 19th century, most Jews actually spoke Arabic rather than Yiddish or Ladino. It was actually the more common. It was only the end of the 18th century that the population of East Europe expanded suddenly. But so that's a big part of Jewish tradition. All right, now here's Ophir Ben Chitrit singing, I think it's to her
معلش مشيتي انتي يا ماي وحياتي تضويني فيك يا ماما كرهتيني وتعذبتي فيا توحشت حيالك يا نوينيا لموي منتي الحنينة لموي منتي العزيزة غنتي يا دورية شحال جريتي وخممتي فيا توحشت حيالك يا خليتيني بلاش ونموت بالهموم ونهار ليالي انا وانا اللي بكيت يا ليالي طول عمري ننساك يا زلمه يما داويني انت مشيتي وخليتيني يا ماما كيفاش خليتيني ونموت بالهموم ونهار ليالي انا وانا اللي بكيت يا ليالي طول عمري بنساك يا غالي هاو ما ننساك يا غالي هاو ما ننساك الحبيبة ديالي
Okay. Mama, notice it's Mama in Arabic, it's Mama in Yiddish, it's Mama in a lot of languages, and even the Hebrew. Ima is Mama, it's just the single syllable, Ma, right? From the same source. So now, for Ima, the song, very touching song for Mother's Day from Israel in modern Israeli Hebrew, Ima, Mommy, why does the summer pass? Why do the leaves fall? Mommy, how does the world turn? How are kids born? Mommy, why are there wars? Why are there so many people? Mommy, why is God silent and doesn't stop them perpetually? Mommy, oh mommy, hug me strongly, we'll never be separated. Mommy, I loved you most of all. Mommy, the song is a witness to you. Mommy, I loved you most of all, even if I caused troubles. Indeed, accept my blessings here in the song and thousands of thanks. So this song, Emor, 1981.
אמא, מדוע הקיץ חלף? למה נושרים העלים? אמא, כיצד זה סובב העולם? איך נולדים ילדים? אמא, מדוע זה יש מלחמות? למה בני אדם? אמא, מדוע שותק אלוהים ולא עוצר באדם? אמא, או אמא, חבקיני חזק ולעולם לא ניפרד. אמא, אותך השיר לך הוא אין. אמא, אותך אין אהבתי מכל, גם אם גרמתי צרות. על כן פה בשיר קבלי ברכותיי באלף אלפי תודות. חזק ולעולם לא ניפרד. אמא, אותך אין אהבתי מכל. אמא, השיר לך הוא אין. אמא, או אמא, חבקיני חזק ולעולם לא ניפרד. השיר לך הוא
That song for mothers. And I wanted to just add in my Mishaberach list, I didn't get this name in time. We add for Mishaberach thoughts, Rachel Bat Ventura, Tibriah, good health, well-being to you. And now we come to two bishops. I'll get my hobbies mixed up. We need Lag B Omer. Okay. Okay. How do I get to Lag B Omer? It stands for what?
30th.
33rd. Lamed Gimel. Lamed is 30. Gimel is 3. 33rd day of the Omer. From the second night of Pesach, we count. Boom, 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 boom. 49 days. The 50th day Shavuot. So now the question is, so what's special about the 33rd? And the answer is, We don't have an answer. We have a hint. We don't have the real answer. Lovely, lovely. So many things in Judaism. We have things and we don't know where they're from. What we do know is a lot of things that are buried in Jewish sources that have to do with the rebellion against Rome under Bar Kokhba. More than the rebellion against Rome, which led to the destruction of Jerusalem, the rebellion under Bar Kokhba was far more powerful and a far greater threat to the Roman Empire. So great that the Romans had to pull their legions from Britain and bring them to Judea. And it was so great. And it was so great that when the Romans finally defeated Bar Kokhba at Beitar in the year 135, the Roman general came back. He gave his speech to the Roman Senate, and he omitted the famous line that every Roman general had to say, which is, "I and my army are well," because the Roman army was not well after the war with Bar Kokhba. That's how powerful the war it was. Wherefore, the Jewish people was even more destructive. It was that after the war against Rome in 70, took about 50 years, 60 years for them to rebuild a force powerful enough to again threaten Rome. And this time really threaten Rome. Because the war in 70 was just a rebellion of ragtag rebels. Here was an organized army under Bar Kokhba. So what do we know about it? We have coins, we have Bar Kokhba's coins, we have Bar Kokhba's documents. That was preserved for us. Some of the Dead Sea Scrolls go back to that, actually, Bar Kokhba and not the Essenes. We have some hints in the Talmud. Talks about Rabbi Akiva's students, that he had 12,000 students that stretched from here to there, all the way over. And they all died in one period of time. They did not show respect to each other. That's interesting. So plague, that's good for us to know. There are plagues then. Is that what it's about? It did not show respect. What did that mean? There was some kind of internal conflict going on. So they're rephrasing it into the terms of respect because they're covering up something else. What did they cover up? They all died in the period from Passover to Shavuot, this plague. That's another quotation in the Talmud. And they died a bad death. The Talmud asks, what is that bad death? It says, askara, which they translate as diphtheria, plague. Again, what happened in this time? Talmud is quite silent about the details. One other place in Talmud says on the 33rd day of that time, the plague ceased. And so in celebration, they celebrated, the scholars celebrated, and hence the connection with Lag B Omer, a kind of celebration for the scholars. Very strange. How do we celebrate Lag B Omer? Some of you know? What are the common customs?
Shaving a haircut.
Shave and a haircut. Dun, dun. Yeah, because little boys, they would wait till Lag B Omer when they're after the age of 3, take them up to Meron or wherever was accessible, give them a haircut. Other customs of Lag B Omer. You see behind me, the picture behind me in my head, where I am, and you see a fire, bonfire. So lighting bonfires also. Bonfires signaling probably, again, going out to war. And what was the other custom of Lag B Omer? Anybody else know? The students would cancel the yeshiva studies everywhere, and they would go out to the woods with bow and arrow.
That's right.
Now, why would students go out with the woods with bow and arrow? Stop there. So again, something has remained of a trace of a war. And it is the way a people who have been defeated remember that once they stood up without provoking the government. You know, in the Seder Pesach, Passover Seder, one of the stories in the beginning is about the great rabbis who sit in Bnei Brak, and they study all night long till the student comes in and says it's time for the Shema of Shacharit. And some of the scholars say, you know, what are they doing in Bnei Brak? And look who's seated. This is the leadership of the rebellion, Rabbi Akiva, and the students.
That's right.
And the students coming in because, guys, break up the meeting. Daylight, the Romans know you're together. Another custom, Levuna Benchen. Anybody knows Levuna Benchen? Birchata Levana, anybody know that? Okay. After the new moon, this first Shabbat, at the end of Shabbat after the moon, you go out, you spot the moon, you point to the moon, you bounce up and down, and you say, as I cannot touch the moon, so my enemy shall not touch me. And then you sing, David Melech Yisrael Chai V'Kayam. Wait a minute. King David is alive. That's the song. David Melech is from that. Why on earth would that have anything to do with singing, here's the new month is coming? And again, leftover. That was the signal among Bar Kokhba's forces. The King David is alive. The rebellion has started. So notice how we have hidden into Jewish customs elements of the rebellion. We can no longer rebel. So we do symbolic acts of rebellion. This is what a weak and conquered people do. When we don't have power, so we go out and we pretend. We play make-believe. And that is the origin of Lag B Omer. There are all sorts of customs and laws around Lag B Omer. Why and how, I won't get into it. Bar Kokhba is the key figure. Rabbi Akiva is associated with Bar Kokhba as the rabbi who gives him his gushpanka, his sign of approval. He says Bar Kokhba is the Mashiach. This is the Darach Kochav me Yaakov. Jacob promises a star shall come out of Jacob, and Kokhba. Bar Kokhba's real name is Koziba, the man of Koziba, which the rabbis then translate as deception or let down. But Akiva plays on it, Kochav Kokhba. This is the star that's come. And then the Talmud says, one of the rabbis tells him, Akiva, the grass is going to grow on your cheeks before the Messiah will come, which plays true. So here we have some of the associations. So we still have these customs, the bonfire. And so we go to some songs just 2 songs for Tisha B'Av. Well, I'm getting my holidays mixed up. For Lag B Omer. One, a meditation, a Hasidic meditation, again from Ron Yuval, who did a beautiful workshop for us a few years ago. And he's giving a TED talk about the origins of the Baal Shem Tov, the founder of Hasidism. And I'm not going to go all the way through because it's a long talk. But at the end, he teaches us what is a
always starting slow and dark. And it's slowly developing to a fast, trancy experience. Because it is not immediate. You cannot turn a switch and lose yourself. It's a journey. And it starts slow and dark because it's hard. And we're far away. We are far away from the source. And if we reach it, there's joy.
la
לילה